Wobble baby wobble. That's what the general economy is doing right now, especially the S&P 500. You're going to see from now until March, I think we're going to start seeing some weak economy signals that could really shake things up, maybe into Q2, and show a weaker yet economy to come. Doesn't mean it'll be the same in real estate, but here's a few things that I see. S&P 500 is near an all-time high. Jobs reports, there's a big inversions between new jobs created and S&P 500. They're usually much more coupled. That's the biggest signal, first of all, that the Fed has to do something soon. Second of all, the BTFP was a fund that the Fed made to bail out over $120 billion from banks to keep them from collapsing from bad bonds or cheap bonds that are no longer holding their value at the moment. They can't liquidate those bonds. And so that is due in March. The Fed's going to have to do something. They're going to have to extend it, or they're going to have to drop rates so that the value of those bonds come back to a reasonable amount and become liquidable. All right. The other things, of course, you have a yield curve inversion, which reducing rates now will uninvert the yield curve. That's typically when we see a recession come, if we look at the historic recessions over the last few decades. So there's several things that just show not solid economy in general. It does not mean that real estate will be affected the same. The number one driving factor to watch in real estate is unemployment. And unemployment will be a lagging measure towards real estate values. And it has to get pretty severe because right now it's supply and demand. We know supply has not gone up in the last year or two enough to really make a change. Demand has been impacted by interest rates because the affordability of homes has become a big issue. So when we see rates go down, that will actually increase demand right away. And yet unemployment, as people become unemployed, they're typically not going to move out. They're going to draw on lines of credit. They're going to borrow from family. They're going to borrow from 401k accounts or their investments accounts just to keep the home and while they look for a new job. And as last resort, they're going to sell and then move. But even when they sell, it'll just add up more inventory, creating more houses available on the market where buyers can buy. It doesn't necessarily immediately impact the price of homes. It could be an inverse correlation. This is commonly seen in the 70s, 80s, and other recessions that we saw. 2008 is the last one that's in your head, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have the same economic fundamentals of bad debt and real estate in this economy. It's very, very different type of economy and different type of recession that we're facing.